Very good day, everyone. Welcome back to my channel. So now I'm going to guide you again with another skill for Unit 8, a hard day's works. And the skill is speaking skill. So stay tuned, everyone. Okay, but before that, let me share with you our learning objective for today's lesson. By the end of the lesson, you will be able to explain and justify the point of view of your partner to another partner about the jobs you have discussed in Activity 3. Next, you will be able to explain and justify your choice of ambition by answering 3 questions in Activity 1. And finally, you will be able to explain and justify your own feelings on 7 different statements by using suitable phrases, adjective, and tone that you have learned in your previous listening and speaking lesson. So this is the first question to you. Do you believe that it is essential to go to university if you want to get a good job? The answer is either yes, I do, or no, you don't. Okay, I am a strong believer of chasing your dreams regardless of your education, but getting a good degree at least give you an advantage. Having a degree can actually improve the chances of employment. Although a degree does not guarantee success, it does improve chances of getting noticed. So this can be considered as success in itself. Okay, the direction in which education starts a person will determine his or her future in life. Alright, degrees may not be essential for success, but they surely make it easier. Maybe you are steps away from graduating high school and looking for the answers for what to do next. Okay, but first you need to know if is it worth your time and money. So honestly, do you have to go to college or uni to be successful in life? Okay, the answer can be yes and no. It's up to you, it's depend on you. But university is an important part of many people's lifetime. Okay, it is an experience unlike any other one could have. However, nowadays, if I'm not mistaken, there are many careers that do not pay well enough to make a degree worth it. And there are many career fields that you can enter without university. So you definitely need to make sure that your expected career is worth the investment. Okay, but overall, university is important because it provides invaluable experience. You could gain important lifelong connections, and you can get further in your career and make a high income with most degrees. Okay, so do you really need to go to the university? Well, that depends. Maybe you could share your ideas later with your teachers as well. Okay, this is the first task of your speaking activity, Activity 1. Okay, the question is, ask and answer the questions with a partner. Are you ambitious? What do you hope to achieve in your career? Are you interested in manual work or a more intellectual work job? Do you think you might follow the same career as one of your parents? Why? Why not? Okay, firstly, you need to explain your future career plans or ambitions in some details to your partner. Okay, don't be afraid to discuss it in English with your friends, because I believe your teachers will always monitor and help you with any vocabulary. Alright, next, you should take turn to ask questions to your partner as well. Okay, so the questions there, are you ambitious? Adakah awak ada bercita-cita tinggi? Or next one, apa harapan kamu untuk mencapai impian, especially in your career? Okay, next one, which one do you want? Manual work or intellectual job? Alright, manual works means a person whose job involve physically work. Okay, a skilled or unskilled manual workers. So last one, are you going to follow your parents' footsteps? Why or why not? So think about it and share it with your partner. Alright, before we go to activity 2, let's learn some phrases from the language bank from your textbook. Okay, you can refer to the language bank and go through the phrases for making generalization and also giving example. Alright, example of phrases for making generalization. Firstly, general speaking. Next, most or a lot of the time. Next, it seems to be true, or is often the case, or as a rule, or normally. Next one, giving example. Those phrases are, for instance, for example, such as in the case of. Okay, so what is actually making generalization? Okay, there are several reasons why we or when can we use those phrases while you speak to your friends. Okay, English speakers often prefer to make generalization rather than something is a fact. When you make generalization, you will sound less sure of yourself and therefore more open to other people's opinions and ideas. A generalization is a specific kind of conclusion. Okay, all generalizations are conclusions, but not all conclusions are generalizations. A generalization is a broad statement that applies to many examples. Okay, there are some reasons to make generalization. Firstly, when you want to show something that is generally true, okay, maybe you can say or use this word or this phrase tend to. For example, I tend to agree with you. Okay, in other words, it means I agree with most of what you say. Alright, second reason, maybe you can use those phrases when you want to show how common something is. Okay, you can say those phrases like generally speaking. Alright, example, generally speaking, more girls or more boys than girls use the internet. You can also use the phrases like in most cases or in some cases. Example, in some cases Our beaches are unsafe for swimming. Or maybe you can use the phrases like in a large number of cases. For example, in a large number of cases, obesity is caused by overeating. You can also use the word like mostly, often, or sometimes, but these words go before the main verb or after the verb to be. For example, okay, we are mostly concerned with cost, or they mostly go to the cinema at weekends. Or maybe eating chocolates sometimes causes migraines. Okay, other reasons for you to use or to make generalization is to be vague rather than be specific. Be vague mean sama-sama or unsure. Example, you can use the phrase like in my experience. Okay, for example, in my experience, the best time to call is before everyone else gets into the office. Okay, so you can also use phrases that refer to your personal experience as well, which are not specific. So those reasons you can simply use any kind of phrases for making generalization. So the speaking tip is, alright, although you may find it strange to avoid saying exactly what you mean, being able to make generalizations is a speaking skill that will make you sound much more like a native English speaker. Sounds interesting, right? Alright, so this is our activity number 2. Okay, let's read the instruction first. When you talk about two photos, you should structure what you say. Start by stating the topic and then compare the photos, saying how they are similar and different. Okay, firstly, you should structure what you say. Start by stating the topic first. Then only you can make the comparison between the photos, saying how they are similar or how they are different before answering the questions you have been asked. Okay, so choose one of the pairs of jobs below and describes the jobs to your partner. Compare them and then say which one you would prefer to do and why. You can use all the phrases from the language bank earlier to help you. So we have the first one between bus driver and chauffeur. Chauffeur is actually pemandu, right? Next one, waiter or waitress and chef. Next one, soldier and policeman. Next one is nurse and doctor. Okay, so remember, when you talk about two photos, you need to structure what you say in a logical order. You must first state the topic, which is identify the common theme, then compare the photos, and finally answer the specific question. So for this task, you can choose one of the pairs of jobs, compare them, and then say which you would prefer to do and why. Okay, perhaps you can start practicing now and do it later with your English teachers. Alright, next is the download box. Okay, so after discussing the similarities and differences, right, from the previous activity, make sure you answer your questions fully. You can make a generalization to give a broader picture of what you are describing, but don't forget to give examples to support what you are saying. So please take note that in this type, the upcoming activity, which is your activity 3, you must answer the question fully after you compare the photos. So you must point out that you can make generalization when you answer the questions, but you must remember to give example as well that support your generalization. So here we go for activity number 3. Okay, work in pairs to answer the questions about the photograph. One of you will be student A and the other will be student B. Use the words and phrases in the language bank again to help you. So we have A, B, C and D. Alright. For A and B, student A, compare the two photographs. What qualities do you need to do these kinds of jobs? Student B, would you like to work outdoors? Why or why not? Okay, for picture C and D, student B will compare the two photographs and then again answer what are the responsibilities of each job. Okay, as you can see from the pictures, those most probably a teacher or lecturer between a pilot. And then student A, which job do you think would be more stressful? Alright, so what you have to do is, first for this task you must work in pairs to do the task. Okay, next after that, next round you have to find a new partner to explain the opinions or feelings or point of view of your previous partner to your new partner. Okay, but remember that you are not just telling what your previous partner's point of view is, but also justifying why that is their opinion. Alright, so maybe you can start choosing, you may start choosing your partner to talk or discuss for activity 3. Okay, this is the last activity. Again, work in pairs to discuss this question. First one, do you believe that it is essential to go to university if you want to get a good job? If you still can remember, this is the first question that I asked you just now. Next, what are the best ways to find work if you are unemployed or just leaving education? Maksudnya, apakah cara terbaik untuk awak mencari kerja sekarang ataupun cara terbaik untuk awak cari kerja sebaik saja tamat persekolahan? Next one, do you think it is right that a cleaner is paid less than an accountant? Okay, soalannya, adakah how to say that? Adakah perkara ini betul bila gaji accountant lagi banyak daripada gaji cleaner? Alright, next one. Under what circumstances do you think it would be a good idea to quit your job? Okay, maksudnya dalam keadaan dalam situasi yang manakah ianya merupakan idea terbaik untuk kamu berhenti kerja? Okay. Next is our our reflection session. Okay, can you share and describe how would you feel about the following statements displayed on the screen? So we have the first one, not being allowed to go to university. How do you feel? Doing a university course remotely from home, or doing a 9 to 5 office job for your entire life, being offered your dream job but having to work in Europe, having a job you really enjoy but being paid very little, and finally working in a company where your father or your mother or your sibling is the boss. Okay, you may share your feelings later on my Padlet link as well. Right, you can use lots of adjectives for emotions maybe. Okay, because you have to remember that emotions and feelings are very similar. In fact, the definition of feelings is to have an emotion. The only difference is that emotions tend to refer to that which isn't tangible, while feelings are something you can kind of put your finger on. But that's really splitting hairs. Emotions can't be easily seen. We can guess that someone is either sad or happy, but emotions are not always expressed. Okay, rather it is something we sense. Maybe you can tell or share the feeling of blissful or maybe glad, or you will feel comfortable, proud, optimistic, or terrible, happy, sad, and it's up to you. Okay, all right, next. So that's it for our session. That's the end of speaking activity for Unit 8. Okay, hope to see you again for our last skill, which is your writing skill for Unit 8. So stay safe everyone, and thank you for watching.